Alright, we are picking muscadines to make some muscadine jelly. Muscadines are indigenous to our area, and one of the cool things about them is they're about the only grape that really love this hot, wet climate. So we're going to pick these guys and then make some jam.
I'm supposed to be putting them in the bucket, but I just like to eat them. So, muscadine is very high in antioxidants, and they come in two varieties, I guess, red ones and green ones. So I'm getting a little bit of a mix here. Mostly I've got the red ones in here, but this side over here has got the white ones, so I'm going to add a couple of those. Well, some of them I keep bursting, but the muscadine makes a very good muscadine juice, but also the wine is pretty good too. Muscadine wine, it's a really nice fruit wine. If you've not tried it, we are at Solly Notch Vineyard and here in Tennessee. Check this place out and try to put some in the bucket.
Alright, we ended up with a ton of muscadines, so we're going to make some muscadine jelly. I've started with 5 cups of muscadines that I washed and made sure all the stems were off. Put them in a pot and just enough water to cover the muscadines. What I'm going to do is bring this to a full boil, start mashing with my potato masher, turn it down, let it simmer for about 15 minutes, and continue mashing because we want to get all the juice out of these muscadines. We are at a roaring boil, as you can see, so I'm going to turn this down and let it simmer for 15 minutes. And that whole time, I'm going to keep mashing the muscadines. Our muscadines have been simmering for 15 minutes, and I have done a lot of mashing. So now we're going to take it off here. Here I have set up a strainer with some cheesecloth. So we're going to pour it directly in here. We want to make sure that we get all the juice, but none of those seeds or those super thick shells that the muscadines have. So now that it's in here, we're going to keep mashing. We're going to get all that juice out, everything we can. Another thing you might want to consider doing is leaving it here, letting it cool. Then you can gather this up and kind of squeeze out the juice. But I'm going to do some mashing here, and we will get all that delicious muscadine juice out for our jam. We finished straining our muscadines, and now all we're left with is this beautiful red juice. We'll put it back in the oven. We're going to bring it to a boil. Once it starts to boil, we're going to add 1.75 ounces of pectin. Stir that for about a minute as it continues to boil, and then we're going to add 6 cups of sugar, which we'll stir until it dissolves. All right, we're at a boil, so we're going to add the pectin and stir this in. We're going to let it continue to boil for about 1 minute, and then we're going to add the sugar. Our pectin has been well mixed. We're still at a boil, so now we're going to add 6 cups of sugar. It's a lot of sugar. That's really going to bring out the fruit flavor of the jam. And then we're going to stir the sugar in until it dissolves. Making sure that we have at least 1 minute of a roaring boil. Alright, our sugar's dissolved. We brought everything to a boil. We've boiled the lids to our jars. Our jars have been washed and been in the oven staying hot. So now we're going to fill them with our jam. Highly recommend a funnel if you've got one. This is what I have, so this is what I'm using. And you want to leave a little room at the top to make sure that it's able to seal. I'll probably end up making more jam. I think I'll have a little extra jars left over. Everything I've heard and read says don't make a double batch of the muscadine jelly because it never turns out. So I'm going to take that advice and just make it in single batches.
I get the pleasure of trying some homemade muscadine jelly. Let's try to get this open and see how it tastes. Pretty excited about that. Oh, all right, look at that. Waste not, want not. Get some of that. Get some. Ooh, this is really good. Smells good. All right. Let's see, that's not enough. Need more. I might just use the whole jar. There we go. All right. First taste. Well, it's pretty good if you like muscadine jelly. I'm going to eat more. I believe that's a wrap.